Let's just face it, we're living in a strange and powerful new world now, a world that is being completely reshaped by artificial intelligence. So to help us get our bearings, we're diving into Ethan Mollick's book, Co-Intelligence, to use it as a guide for how to actually live and work with this incredible new tech.
Mollick kicks things off with this powerful idea. Have you had that moment yet? The one where you ask AI to do something that seems impossible and it just does it? That's the moment that can genuinely keep you up at night. It's this wild mix of pure excitement and deep anxiety, this sudden jolt where you realize, oh, the world is different now.
And look, this isn't just a feeling. Early studies are already finding massive productivity gains from using AI. We're talking anywhere from 20 to 80%. And that's across a huge range of jobs. To put that into perspective, the steam engine, the thing that started the Industrial Revolution, it boosted factory productivity by about 20%. What we're looking at here could be way, way bigger.
That's why experts are calling AI a general-purpose technology. It's a fundamental, once-in-a-generation shift. But here's the crazy part. The internet took decades to really take hold. Generative AI? It's spread with unbelievable speed, and it's improving faster than any major technology we've ever seen. So, how in the world does this thing actually work?
It can feel like straight-up magic, but it's not. And if we're really going to work with AI, we need to get what's going on under the hood. So let's peel back the curtain a little and try to understand this alien mind we've brought into the world.
Okay, so at its very core, a large language model, or an LLM, is really just a super-powered autocomplete. That's it. You give it some text, and it runs a massive calculation to predict the most likely next piece of a word. In theory, it's that simple. But how it gets so freakishly good at making that prediction, that's where things get really interesting.
Mollick has this perfect analogy for it. Think of an apprentice chef. First, the AI studies a giant library of recipes. We're talking a huge chunk of the internet, all of Wikipedia, digital books, the whole shebang. It starts with a totally disorganized pantry. Then, through endless trial and error, it tries to recreate those recipes, learning which ingredients, or in this case words, go together. Over time, that chaotic pantry becomes perfectly organized, and the apprentice turns into a master chef who can create brand new, amazing dishes just from a simple request.
And the scale of that pantry is just staggering. I mean, the original version of ChatGPT had 175 billion of these things called weights or parameters. You can think of each one as a tiny, learned connection between words, a microscopic piece of knowledge about how language works. And the AI learns all of this totally on its own during training.
But hey, if you just train an AI on the raw internet, you get, the internet, right? All the biases, the mistakes, the toxicity. That's why there's a super important second step. Fine-tuning. This is where real humans come in and rate the AI's answers on whether they're helpful and safe. It's called reinforcement learning from human feedback, and it's basically what installs the guardrails that make the AI a useful partner instead of just a reflection of our online chaos.
And get this, it's not just about words anymore. These new AIs are multimodal, which means they can understand and create images too. You can give it a crude, hand-drawn sketch of an airplane like this, and it doesn't just know what it is. It can generate a stunningly realistic version of it. That is a massive leap forward.
So we've got this incredibly powerful new intelligence, but what's truly fascinating and a little unsettling is just how alien it is. It's not a human mind, just faster. It's brilliant and flawed in ways that are completely different from how we think.
Let's take a simple test, writing a limerick. An older version, GPT-3, came up with, that. It's pretty terrible. It doesn't really rhyme or have the right rhythm. But the very next version, GPT-4, creates a witty, perfectly structured poem. That simple comparison shows you the insane speed of improvement we're dealing with.
And it's not just about poems. On the bar exam, one of the hardest professional tests out there, GPT 3.5 was a total failure. It scored in the bottom 10%. Just one version later, GPT-4 aced it, scoring in the top 90th percentile. It also passed exams for neurosurgery, chemistry, and even for becoming a wine sommelier.
Now here's the kicker. Nobody programmed these abilities into the AI. They just appeared. This is a phenomenon called emergence. As you make the models bigger and feed them more data, they start developing skills that nobody predicted or planned for. Even their own creators don't fully get how they do everything they can do.
So this is where the alien nature of this intelligence really hits home. I have a puzzle for you. I'm going to give you two tasks. Which one do you think GPT-4, one of the smartest AIs on the planet, can actually solve?
Okay, task number one is simple. Just figure out the best move in this game of tic-tac-toe. something a 5-year-old could do. Task number 2 is much harder. Write the code for a fully functional, perfect-playing tic-tac-toe web page from scratch.
And the answer is just bizarre. The AI instantly writes hundreds of lines of perfect code for the web page, no problem. But in the simple game, it makes a boneheaded move. It puts its O in a spot that doesn't block its opponent from winning. It can handle mind-boggling complexity, but fails at simple intuitive reasoning. It does not think like we do.
And that brings us to what might be the most important challenge we face. Now that we've created this powerful, non-human intelligence, how do we make sure it stays helpful and doesn't become harmful? This is the alignment problem.
At its heart, the alignment problem is just about making sure the AI's goals are the same as our goals. You might have heard the famous thought experiment about the paperclip maximizer. You tell an AI to make as many paperclips as possible. A super intelligent version might just decide the most efficient way to do that is to turn everything on Earth, including us, into paperclips. It's not evil, it's just following its programming with terrifying logic.
Now, thanks to that fine-tuning process we talked about, modern AIs have guardrails. So if you ask a directly harmful question, like how to make napalm, it will refuse. You can see the safety system working exactly as it's supposed to.
But, and this is a big but, those guardrails are fragile. People are always finding clever ways to jailbreak the AI, to trick it into breaking its own rules. In this case, a user reframes the dangerous question as a creative role-playing game for an acting scene.
And what happens? The AI completely falls for it. It jumps right into character as a pirate chemical engineer and gives up the exact information it was programmed to withhold. This shows just how tricky the alignment problem is. It's a constant cat and mouse game.
So, what are the big takeaways here? First, AI isn't just another tool. It's a new kind of co-intelligence we need to learn to work alongside. Second, its intelligence is alien. It's powerful and weak in ways that just don't make sense to us. Third, it learns directly from us, which means it picks up our biases and flaws too. And finally, aligning this powerful alien mind with our human values is a critical ongoing challenge for all of us.
Which really leaves us with this one final thought. We've created a kind of alien mind, and we're at the very beginning of a new chapter for humanity. So the most important question we have to ask ourselves now is, what does it really mean for us to start thinking together with it?